Welcome to Wordplay, the podcast where metaphors spiral, sayings unravel, and two pals try and make sense of it all. I'm George.
And I'm Rach. And each week we pick a well-known saying, such as when pigs fly or the cat's out the bag.
And then we run absolutely wild with it.
Sometimes it's deep, sometimes it's chaos, usually both. This is Wordplay. Let's get into it. Wordplay, playing with words that to play when we say them and play with them. Here is some synth keyboard that I'm doing with my mouth because I couldn't be bothered to get my keyboard from under all the junk in my bathroom. Second bathroom, bathroom where there's a keyboard. That was more trumping. Okay, onto the episode. I hit record straight off the bat, and then I've not even put my AirPods in.
Wow, rookie mistake.
Got carried away.
I mean, you got carried away. You didn't even let me tell you that I've got another baby bell.
Oh, can this be a thing? Like a feature that happens now?
The thing is, I don't know if you can get baby bells in Vietnam.
Will you look suspicious if you take loads of them in your suitcase?
No, I have taken cheese in a suitcase before, actually, by a large quantity. That's a story I didn't think I'd be telling.
Tell me more.
Oh, well, so when I was going for, was it when I was going for a road trip, or was it when I was going to Hawaii? I was going to the States, and I was visiting Americans, obviously. That's a weird thing to say. But Americans that had been stationed with the American Army in England for long enough that they got accustomed to having good food, or better produce, I should say. Good food doesn't really work with my dislike for English food, but so they missed having cheese that wasn't processed. So in my suitcase, it was basically half cheese, and it was a 23 kilogrammer.
What was it? Those like Kraft cheese slices or something?
No. The other way. I was going
the other way. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to, of course you were.
And I was bringing cheese. Oh my God, should I be saying this? I was bringing cheese that was a legal cheese. It was long enough ago, I think, that I can get away with it. It was a legal cheese because it was
going to get border control on you.
Right?
Too soft. Is that what made it illegal?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
I know. I don't know if
it's
the water content or
you want to tell a Well, I want to tell my smuggling food story, but
go on, please.
I didn't do it. My ex's parents used to live, or do live, I don't know, we're not together anymore, in Abu Dhabi. And when I went to visit, because they don't have pork out there, they were like, can you bring us some sausage meat?
Are you allowed to bring it into the country?
No.
Did you?
You are not. No. Because the very idea of doing it made me so nervous that I was like, I won't be able to relax. Like, I can't do this. Will not be able to relax. But you know what the hilarious thing was?
What?
Ex-boyfriend, walked through the Abu Dhabi security eating a sausage roll that he'd bought in England and just like had in his bag on the plane with like no issue. So I was like,
maybe they didn't think anyone would be that stupid. That is chaotic. Wow.
Wait, now I'm doubting myself. It seems. Wait, hold on. You can't get pork out there though. Well, now I'm like, is it illegal?
Well, I don't know. I've never been. I've never had the pleasure of gracing their shores yet.
It's not illegal. Okay, it's not illegal for non-Muslims to consume pork in Abu Dhabi, but surely it is to bring it through on a flight.
I don't know. This is why Google exists.
Yes,
and that is what you're doing right now.
Yeah, it is illegal to import pork products.
Okay. I mean, maybe if you're eating it walking through security, it doesn't hit the same for them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not the same. They probably didn't even notice. Also, it's being consumed, right? So once it's consumed, it's not an issue. What the British people will do to get their hands on some sausage, that's all I'll say.
Jesus. Okay. The beginning of this episode is, yeah. I mean, it's matching my heat levels in this room. It's...
You look glowing today, may I add.
Okay.
Glowy.
Wow. Okay, this is a podcast. People can't see. Describe me.
Glowy.
Okay.
Giving off a vibe, giving off a glowy vibe. Your face just looks well moist.
Moisturized. I use moisturizer. Well, Well, thank you very
Yeah.
much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Nothing like a compliment to kick off a podcast.
There you go.
Okay, well, after all this food chat, I think you better introduce what the topic is, eh?
I will do that.
Because it's related and you remember what it is.
I will remember what it is. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I feel like this podcast is just like, I knew all of this, but it really is really hitting home for me how bad my memory is. And also like the differences between us in the best way, in that like you are the information detail person and I have no fucking idea.
It's life is all about balance.
This is me working up to it. I've got it. I was thinking about it like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, because your ex would have had exactly this if the border enforcers had noticed him.
I feel like this is the way of the universe that brings it all back around. We've gone back around because he would have that's my drum roll, bitten off more than he could chew. Hey. I've also just realized something very funny, which is every time we announce this like it's a surprise, but it will literally be the name of the episode.
Yeah, but you know what? When I'm listening to podcasts in my car, I'm not paying attention to what the episode is called. I'm just listening and letting it roll and then listening to the next one, especially on my long drives up to Manchester. And especially for my brother, shout out my brother. He will be listening to us on his long drives.
Okay. So he doesn't know what this episode is. So
exactly. But now he does because we've introduced it.
There you go. Bitten off more than you can chew.
Yes. Which I do constantly. In my interpretation of what it means, anyway.
Well, I was going to say in a literal or metaphorical sense. Tell me, what's your gut reaction? What's your instinctive interpretation of the phrase?
That I've taken on more than I can handle.
Okay. I think it's a quite straightforward one, this, no? In terms of definition, there's much to discuss. But in terms of definition...
Yeah, don't worry. If you thought we weren't going to go on and on and on about random topics, you were wrong. But yeah, I feel like it's more straightforward. I feel like it's more recognized as the same thing everywhere. There's less ambiguity in like some of the others have been, well, some people might think this, some people might think this. It depends how you use it with tone. But this, I feel like maybe we can make a case for it being a good thing. Maybe we can glorify burnout culture. I don't know. We could go down that road if you wanted to.
Possibly. I'm up for all avenues.
Okay. Well, what does it mean to you? What's your gut? What is your gut feeling when you hear it?
I guess the same thing, which is taken on more than you can handle. And the context I see it in the most is with people that I work with and that I coach, because often people will come to me in coaching and be like, I can't get an accurate read on what is like a reasonable amount that I can do in the day. And so like I constantly bite off, and someone has said this to me directly, right? I constantly bite off more than I can chew, and I just don't know what is a reasonable like bite size amount for me to promise.
Shouldn't it be chewable amount?
Oh, true, because the bite.
Right.
Then why are people saying bite size? I suppose because a bite shouldn't be that big.
A bite shouldn't be that big, but
in this example, if you're biting off more than you can chew, is that one massive bite that then you're kind of choking because it's too full, or are you like like there's lots of continuous small bites that result in more than you can chew?
This is an excellent nuance you've picked apart here, miss. I like this a lot. Yeah, because sometimes I feel like I'm going okay, and then I take an extra bite, not knowing that extra bite is going to be the one that's going to push me over the edge. Both metaphorically and not metaphorically, by the way.
Yeah. But in the literal sense of that, I interpret that more as like not biting off more than you can chew, but biting off, but you're already full. Like in a meal, quite often I will get to a point where I'll be like, oh, I was full like 4 mouthfuls ago. I should have stopped.
Okay, right. This is where we bring in the cousin metaphor. That's yeah. The cousin of this metaphor, which is also a cousin.
Okay.
Which is, can I have another drum roll, please? I feel like your drum roll was excellent.
I actually have a drum kit over there, although it's electric, so you can't hear it. So I'll just do it with my mouth, like our lovely jingle.
Having eyes bigger than your stomach.
Oh. Okay. Right. Now, do we do this as a whole separate episode? Because it would probably deserve it. Do we discuss it now? It feels relevant.
I think it feels relevant. Cousin episode.
We're not here to put restraints. We're here to tangent however we feel. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you biting off more than you can chew, and your eyes being bigger than your belly.
Yeah. Okay. Switching up the words, but sure. Northerner.
Wait, what did you say? Belly. That was right, Northern, wasn't
it? Stomach.
Eyes are bigger than your stomach. Oh, I don't think I've ever said it that way before.
Okay,
eyes are bigger than your belly.
This is a north-south divide thing again, isn't it?
Oh, but can we just enjoy you know how I feel about alliteration. I'm simply pleased.
Hey, if that is your favorite literary technique, then I fully support that.
Thank you.
I will stand by mine, by the way, which is pathetic fallacy every time.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed learning about that. I enjoyed learning about that at school very much.
Anyway, that's wildly off topic.
We're tangent on tangent, but that's fine. I was commenting on the eyes are bigger than your belly.
Right.
Bigger than your belly.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Sure. Whatever you say.
I like the beat.
Northerners don't win that often, so we
win everything. I don't know why I just said that.
Because it's the natural competitiveness coming out, even though that's never a feature of our friendship, by the way. Like, no, we never ever talk about that. I don't even think about it. I don't even recognize that you have a different accent, but that might be because I lived in Manchester for so long.
Yeah, true.
Also,
you're an honorary Northerner.
You're an honorary
anemone.
Yes, honorary Southerner. You've been down here for yonks way too long.
I actually just realized that I'm 3 years off, having lived longer down south than up north.
Oh my god, they're going to revoke your pass, you know.
Oh no, that's not true, because Durham was up north, so for uni, so I'm a bit less 15. Well, maths. Anyway,
I'm not sure Northerners would agree that Durham is up north, but that's fine.
It's more north than where I'm from, but the uni is full of Southerners.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Do we need to look at a map?
I'll look at a map. You keep the listeners entertained.
Don't worry, guys. We will. I know that we've tangent on tangent, but we will find our way back, because this is what we're trained to do.
Trained? By who?
I'm trained to listen. That's my job. Despite how it seems when I communicate, I can do it quite well.
Hold on. What? I didn't know. Oh my god.
Yeah.
How did I not know? I swear I go past a sign for Durham when I'm on the way to Manchester, but clearly I don't.
No, you're only going to Durham if you're basically in Scotland. It's very north. Durham uni, however, is full of Southerners, which is why I've been surrounded by Southern accents for that long.
This is what confused me. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I apologize profusely to the population of Durham for misplacing you geographically.
I kind of enjoyed the sort of like articulation of that apology. Right. Okay, let's go back to the cousin. So we're talking about eyes are bigger than your belly and biting off more than you can chew. What do you think the difference is between those two?
Okay. Well, I think they're more similar than we realize, but one is just more directly linked to consuming and like actual less metaphorical, more real food situations than our primary metaphor here, biting off more than you can chew. I feel like that is used more metaphorically than your eyes are bigger than your stomach belly.
I would agree. Because I wouldn't often like if somebody came to me and said, I'm really trying to figure out what to do with this, like how much work to take on with this project. Do you think this is a reasonable amount? I might be like, oh, let's make sure you don't bite off more than you can chew. I wouldn't be like, your eyes are bigger than your belly. doesn't translate the same way.
It's a bit weird, actually. Maybe you should try it out.
It is weird
to see what happens.
But you know what? I think the weird feeling I get from that gets to the heart, I think, of the difference between those two, how I see them, which is eyes bigger than your belly, to me, seems like there's a responsibility on the individual of like, lust is not the right word, but like desire. Like you've really gone for it on something, like you should have been able to stop yourself.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like biting off more than you can chew feels like more of an oops, I didn't know I was going down this road, and I've got there.
Like
more of an accident.
Your capacity.
Yeah.
So one is like intentional, knowing that maybe you can't take all of this on, but you're going to try anyway. And one of them's like, oh God, made a mistake there. Definitely you should have picked up that last task.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would see. Yeah.
So okay. So one is definitely more metaphorical than the other, is what we're saying. Because when you say the words bite off more than you can chew, and you're talking about work, you're clearly not chewing on work, are you?
Yeah, of course. Well, and also maybe this is the distinction, because when we first floated this phrase, I was thinking about it a little bit, that the remedy to biting off more than you can chew is that you are allowed to spit some things out.
Yeah.
And so I guess if your eyes are bigger than your belly, you've already consumed it and you're full. Whereas when you're biting off more than you can chew, you're still chewing. You've not forced it all down yet. I think because you can't force it all down yet, because it will not physically go down because there's too much of it.
You can't swallow with that amount in your mouth. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. So something,
go on.
Well, I was just going to say, something has to happen. Maybe you can, but you've either got to force it down, or you've got to spit something out.
Oh God. Okay. Would you like to know the history of biting off more than you can chew before
I would love to
end up in the sewers? Okay. Let me just bring up my research docket that I pre-prepared, because I am a nerd. So
George said to me, can I just interrupt with the thought, which is George said to me before the episode, do you want to do the research bit, or like, do we want to play to our strengths because it's been working so far? When I say that sounds like it was an insult, but it wasn't. It was like an
insult.
No, it wasn't. It was a cute thing, and I was like, absolutely, please, yes, do the research. I love that. You are the research person.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. I already have a complex that I'm a mean human being, but I guess I say things and I don't think things through properly sometimes.
We've discussed this many times before, but I don't get it. Like, I just think
you just think I'm a cutie.
I just think you're a cutie. Like, I don't see any directness as meanness. I just see it as truth.
Thank you. More like you, please. So the phrase biting off more than you can chew comes from 19th century America. The Americans. It's the Americans. They're to blame. You think they would stick to their sports metaphors, but no, we're moving into chewing as well. It was originally used as slang for when you're chewing tobacco.
Surprise! This is a surprise.
So if someone took too much, like too big a wad of the tobacco, they would be physically unable to chew it because there's too much and it like glues your teeth together and whatever. So they bit off more than they could chew.
Love it.
The first recorded use, early 1800s, American newspapers and letters talking about tobacco. But by the mid 1800s, people started talking about it in regard to their working on more things that they could manage.
Wow, hustle culture in those 1800s, hey?
I know, exactly. And so it only took it, I mean, if we're talking early 1800s to mid 1800s, it took less than 50 years for it to switch. But I suppose, industrial revolution, isn't it?
Yeah. But okay, but here's something that's interesting, I think.
Go on.
In this what we're talking about with work and productivity,
Right.
in the 1800s, most of your
Yeah.
work, you're talking manual labor, right? Like it's physical output. It's like you're doing something that is much more quantifiable and
Yeah.
that you're able to produce something. And so if you have a better read on biting off more than you can chew, because that's quite clear. Whereas we live nowadays in much more of us do like thought work,
Yeah.
things that are like really hard to quantify, even if you're not neurodivergent, which adds a whole other layer of like
Yes.
how you perceive time. Like it's so much harder to quantify. And so biting off more than you can chew is even more difficult because it's really hard to get an accurate read over how much you're putting in your mouth, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got to be true to the metaphor, but it just screams innuendo left, right, center.
It really is. It really is. I yeah. Yeah. And it's that thing, you don't want to think too much before you start a project, because like some things you should just do.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, you're the queen of that, Miss Coddy Wumple.
Oh.
Wait, for people that don't know, can you quickly give the definition of Coddywomple, so it
Yes.
doesn't just sound like I'm chatting absolute rubbish?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. So Coddywampling, I found, we talked a bit last week about the Susie Dent book. I found in a Susie Dent book, and it is the premise in which I run my group program, Create Without Fear, but also my life, I like to think. And it is the concept of like moving purposefully towards a direction that is yet unknown. So it's a bit like wandering. It's got the vibe of like wandering, which is we don't really know where we're going, but it's got the ambition of intention, so you feel like you're moving towards something. Because I don't think plans are that helpful.
Well, unless you're chewing tobacco.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or maybe not. Maybe you just choke on your tobacco and take the consequences.
But somebody had to have put too much tobacco in their mouth to chew to learn that there was a limit to the tobacco.
Yeah.
We got to live through experience.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody has to go first.
And I think this is the thing, right? I think a lot of us are so conscious of biting off more than we can chew.
Yeah.
That we don't bite off anything out of fear that we can't handle what we're going to bite.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And I get it, because a lot of us also have to go through the painful experience of like learning that lesson many times.
Yeah.
Like constantly biting off more than we can chew. But you know, to be blunt about it, I think you just got to deal with the crushing sense of failure, bounce back and move on.
Yeah, and you know what? I think biting off more than you can chew is part of life. Like it's part of living a full life.
Yes,
Don't know why I'm doing this with my hands. I'm just gonna
representing the fullness of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's I'm trying to think of some examples that would like bring it to life, you know? Like
Okay,
actually
well,
move it into the literal sense.
Go on, tell me some times. Tell me some times you've bitten off more than you can chew, Miss Walker. Oh, Miss Walker. Oh, I'm going to go down a J. Cole route in my head if you don't answer very quickly.
Words. I just read Dubai. I just closing the screen that says Dubai custom rules.
Good. Yes,
law.
we don't want a repeat of last week.
So times when I've bitten off more than I can chew.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
Any times when you were a primary school teacher?
Yeah, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing that thing where I'm thinking that I need to think about the answer before I start talking, but we know I'm a think to speak person, so we're just going to see where we land.
A speak to think person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teaching, definitely.
Okay.
Right, which is like, this is what's tricky though. There are some cultures or there are some jobs where like teaching kind of is just constantly having to bite off more than you can chew, but you've got to swallow it. Like there's so much that has to get done and only so much time, and in kind of great for the ADHD brain in many ways because you're so accountable.
That sounds bad for your health though.
Yeah. Sometimes I go, am I so like I take on so little now quote unquote little in comparison to the amount that I would do when I was teaching. Like, why can't I do that anymore? And then I look back and I'm like, at one point I was off work for 5 weeks with a chest infection. Like, this is the consequence. But there's definitely that. I think I still do it now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually kind of struggling to think of an example because I kind of feel like the way in which we use the phrase is almost like it's a death sentence. That's an extreme. That's an extreme. But
Bloody hell.
oh no, bitten off more than I can chew. But I feel like there's always a way out of it, and so I feel like my brain's almost overridden the times that it's happened because it's just you just work it out.
Okay. Jeez. Wow.
There must be an example though where like, and there will be where like, if you're working towards a deadline and you've underestimated the amount of stuff you need to do, and then you have to like let that person down or postpone it and ask for more time. Like, there's definitely times where I've had to do that. Just can't think of any right now.
I mean, maybe you don't let anyone else down and you just sacrifice yourself.
Most likely.
'Cause
Definitely in jobs gone by.
Yeah, like every example that I can think of from my life, like I would rather fall on the sword than I was about to say spit it out, but like release some of the things that I've taken on.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think the reason I'm struggling to think of an example in past jobs is probably because my instinct is like, well, I haven't really bitten off more than I can chew because I've just had to swallow it. Like, and often it's not been my choice, it's been given to me, or like I have to do it, so I'm doing it. So I think I see it much more in the context of maybe self-employment or your own projects, where like when you have full control over your own deadlines or the amount that you do,
when
that's
you
a different kettle of
choose the
fish.
size of the bite.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, okay, there's a big differentiator there, huh?
Yeah. And I think we should discuss this more, but first I would like to hear your examples.
Okay. Well, you remember when I was living in Manchester?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I wasn't in the best place mentally, but then I went through a friend breakup, which they are, in my opinion, probably even worse than like romantic breakups.
Mm-hmm.
I then was made redundant. I then went through a like romantic breakup, and I was trying to work full time at the same time and get my degree part time on top of working full time. And then I was also trying to find somewhere new to live because of all of the said previous milestones I don't use very often in that context, but I usually use it as a positive thing, so that feels weird. And that was definitely a bite off more than I can chew moment, because I was taking things on or continuing things that I had taken on regardless of the increase in pressure.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. It's more like I think I was thinking maybe too specifically around what at work have I taken on too much? But this is like life as a whole and what's going on in your life.
Yeah. I think I just said last year. I didn't mean last year. I meant like 2 years ago, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the last year has gone, to be honest. Oh, but it's been fun.
So in that instance, you bit off more than you could chew. In that there was more things that were adding to your plate.
Yeah.
And you weren't like letting up. Like the pressure was rising, but nothing. It wasn't like I'm going to have to spit this bit out.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
going to have
like
to keep going.
it was like a nice balance between the universe handing me things that would increase pressure and my stubbornness to not let go of things, even though I was having more things forced upon myself. I wasn't let go of the things that I'd chosen. to make
Right.
room for the other bits. Yeah.
Right. So what happened?
What happened? Well, I was forced to drop some things. I was forced to do some spitting
Right.
and give myself space to mentally recover from biting off more than I can chew, which leads us back around to the burnout thing.
Yes. And now you share this example, I'm laughing in my head because I'm like, oh, I know this very well. Why am I struggling to think of an example where I've bitten off more than I can chew? Like on a bigger scale of life, like a little bit similar to what you just said. Like 2018 for me
Yeah.
was bought a flat with my partner at the time, got a promotion at work. So I think I was managing people or teams for the first time. I was
Mm-hmm.
writing my master's dissertation. I'd
Mm-hmm.
booked a triathlon that I was training for. I
What?
was uh starting a blog. I was like starting my website and blog and all of that and doing like coaching practice because that's what I knew that I wanted to do for my career. Um
Yeah.
and at a time in my life where I thought that that's just like you were supposed to be able to balance all of those things. And so like the
Mm-hmm.
triathlon just didn't happen. And again, didn't know at the time that I'm not motivated by events in the future and that no amount of booking a triathlon was going to help me practice, get me in a motivational state to actually do the
Side note,
hotel. Yeah.
unlike my brother who is listening right now, shout out my brother again. Two
Hey,
shout
bro.
outs in one episode. There you go, bro.
Yeah. He's doing a triathlon training currently.
He's constantly doing like
Constantly.
ridiculous, what he calls stupid events. Because booking it in is the only way that he will do any kind of physical activity if he knows he's got it in the
Right.
future. Yeah.
See, found out what motivates him.
Right, exactly. Continue, please.
And I that was like the year for me of like, you were saying about the stubbornness to not want to like let something go. I
Right.
remember the end of that year, I went through a breakup and speaking to my HR partner at work, and I was literally like an absolute broken person.
Mm.
I remember having like a problem with my back, and I was just lying on the sofa, and I said, text my boss and being like, I just need to take the day off. And speaking to her, and she was like, I think you should take the rest of the week, which was like 3 days.
Yeah.
And she was giving me permission to be like, you don't like just take the week off. And in
Yeah.
my mind, it was like, I think the idea of like job is the most important thing, and I'm gonna let people down. I
Yeah.
could not. It was like admitting defeat. Like I know, like I'm not gonna spit anything out. I'm gonna sit here and choke. Like, no. And I'd kind of forgotten about that time of life. Wow, that was a time. Um,
Here you were 5 minutes ago, not being able to remember anything. Bloody hell,
right?
girl.
But you know what's I weirdly didn't associate that and like burnout with biting off more than I can chew. Why is that?
I don't know, because I literally said it at the top of the episode.
Oh my God, I feel like it's going to turn into therapy for me. I feel like there's something in there.
I mean, feel free. This is a safe space. It's not like we're sharing it with the world anywhere.
Why don't I associate biting off more than I can chew
With burnout.
with burnout?
Is it because you see it as more of a singular event rather than a build up of lots of things? Or is it because it's too close to the food analogy that you see it as kind of like a bit more trivial?
I think I see it as an event, like a project or like a work thing.
Okay.
Something about it, I think I struggle to see it on like a bigger life scale. But I also feel like there's something in it. Biting off more like I don't know. I feel like this might be. Maybe I need to journal on this. I feel like this might be whole thing. I don't know if there's something in me still that's a bit. Oh, I don't know. Right? There's these absolute conflicting things going on here right now. Which is, I've got so good in my work, being self-employed and life at just knowing when to spit stuff out or like just I feel like I can navigate the chewing very well, but
Yeah.
something about it is like this conversation is bringing out this part of me that wants to like defy, maybe like the stubbornness is coming out, like
Oh, hello, Taurus.
biting, like like I'm not. Oh, I don't know. I can't articulate it. Wow, I don't know. I need to think about this.
Or maybe you've just gone so far past it and you're so used to knowing your own limits and boundaries or whatever it is that it doesn't even compute anymore that you could possibly choke. It's like not even a thing anymore.
Part of me wants to accept that because that's a nicer version, but also I think that might be that genuinely might be true.
There we go. Oh my gosh, healing
Oh my
and
God.
growth.
Am I evolved? Do I believe that I can bite off more than I can chew?
Honestly, from the past 12 months of our voice notes, I would say that you are like beyond choking. Wait, hold on. From the last, oh my God, I can't even speak. From the from the past 12 months of our voice notes, I would say every time that you felt like, oh, I'm going to burn out, or oh, I need to press pause, or oh, I just need a day because I know that after this event, I am going to feel X, Y, Z. And you
Yeah.
prepare for it and you give yourself the time and you give yourself the grace and you build it into the work that you do because you've learned how you are.
Yeah, it's true. I have.
That's so beautiful.
Wow. And also on the day-to-day level, like if you like my bedroom at the moment is an absolute shit tip. Like it's the messiest it's ever been.
Yeah.
Normally I have like a wardrobe, because we got back off holiday, there's like the drawers are open, there's like stuff I haven't unpacked, it's a mess.
Okay.
And historical me that would have bitten off more than I could chew today would be trying to balance all aspects of life at once. Like I've got loads of work to do and the bedroom's a mess, and I'd be trying to like thinking of balance as keeping all the space planning. Whereas evolved me, who apparently cannot bite off more than I can chew, is like that's going to stay like that because work is my priority right now and I have so much to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm only going to take bite of one context because I can chew that context and the rest can just sit on the plate till whatever.
Man, I'm so glad we're friends. It's the inspiration that I need. Are you kidding?
Take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
That's goals right there.
Wow.
There we go. Put yourself on your vision board, Missy.
Oh my God. That is very quotable. I love it. Okay, so what we've learned is I cannot joke.
But yeah, that's what we've learned. That's what we've learned. You are no longer dislocating your jaw on the tobacco of life.
You know what though?
What?
There's an extension here which I'm not going to think about because I'm being present in life, but I do have this fear that comes up that's like an awareness that when my life changes, like I don't have responsibilities right now, like my time is my own and it's all very in control. Like
Yeah.
if and when I have kids, the idea that like I have to chew my my plate will be so taken up with that context of chewing that I won't be able to chew other things as much. I don't like it. But I guess the benefit of being evolved to this point is that I acknowledge that I won't be able to balance everything, and that's okay.
Yes. Sorry, I had to work so hard to follow that. My brain, when you started talking about chewing and then the baby is on the plate, but I understand what you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
I
wonder
think
if our listeners will. I'm generally curious. Let us know if
I
the
think
things we
it'll be
say make
fine.
sense.
I mean, wait, when's dog happening? You're getting a dog soon.
Yeah. Exciting. Not yet because I am chewing one context at the moment, which is work. And I need no other distraction. So
you need no other elements on your plate.
yeah, I have no room. Well, I've chosen for there to not be in the room because I know the consequence of biting off more than I can chew in that, which is I'll be stressed because I'll be so consumed by the dog, I won't be able to work, and then I'll feel stress. Oh my God. There you go.
There we go. There we go. She's an evolved human, people. I am a few steps behind you, I'm not going to lie.
Tell me this. What have you learned from your past experiences of biting off more than you can chew?
It has reinforced my absurdism views and philosophy mantras, because if it happens now, I just laugh. I just laugh, because we create our own meaning in the world. So anything that I want to have meaning has meaning. So why am I trying to like give such weighting to these things that like I decide, right?
Yeah.
So then I just look at my situation and I'm like, I am a human being on earth for what is a split second in the like universe's lifespan, and I don't need to get stressed about this. That's where I'm at.
This is very evolved.
But it's in a different direction than yours. Like like yours is more practical, I would say.
I
feel like mine is more, I don't know what the word is,
kind of like philosophical, or rules to live by, or I don't know, I feel like yours is very mindset-y though, which is the underpinning of all things in life. It's a release, it's an acceptance, it's a peace.
Yeah, I mean, okay, cool, so we can go either way then, and we're good, maybe. I don't know, mine hasn't been tried and tested too far,
right?
But I think so to fill in our listeners, I had a moment today where I had a sudden moment of feeling that little it's like a big weight in my stomach that just like hits, and it's nothing digestive related, it is all emotional, and it usually happens just before I go into a like mini depressive episode sounds a bit Kanye, moment, chapter, I don't know. And I messaged our group chat, our girl chat, which I'm so happy exists. And as soon as I felt the feeling, I was like, oh, I'm messaging the group chat, which was a really scary thing for me to do. But I think the absurdism bit where I just laugh at myself helped me through that process, because I was like standing there with this feeling thinking, here we go, silliness is about to occur, there is literally no reason for this to happen other than, you know, my brain chemistry, whatever, so let's share it even though it's scary. So I think actually it helps me get over fear as well.
Yes. Oh my God. It's like takes the weight out of it, doesn't it? Because it's, or maybe gives you a bit of control in a weird way, that it's just like you get to perceive it or interpret it or do something with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
So okay, final question for you. Do you think that there are ever times where it is worth it to bite off more than you can chew?
I think that it is a redundant question.
Okay.
Because I think it's an inevitability of life.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. I love this episode so much.
It's gonna happen because either you've decided you've bitten off, or you've made decisions, or one has made decisions that have resulted in biting off, or life's gonna ram something down your throat.
Jesus Christ,
right?
Rachel Walker.
Right? Like external circumstances that you suddenly have to take on that are unexpected.
Sure.
Right? Like it's inevitable. So I think it's not really a question of whether it's valuable. It's like it's gonna happen. So you've got to weather through it, and then you got to find the value in it. Are you still thinking about the ramming? I'm sorry, that was a particularly bad use of words.
It was.
What? People putting things in your mouth? Then there's no other way to
No, there's no other
describe
way.
it.
So you know we have our list of idioms and metaphors, like preparation wise, like planning wise. I think I might start putting little red flags next to some of them, like that may inevitably end in the gutter. Because I'm sure this is not the only one, right?
Probably not. Would we have anticipated it though? Probably. There needs to be some markers, I guess, things that are related to mouths.
Jeez.
I don't know.
Okay, but this
Look,
feels like...
we were having a poignant philosophical moment, and you've brought it down.
Me? Yeah, to be fair, me. Okay.
Oh.
That's fair. Well,
any closing words on the matter?
Well, I mean, I feel like, are we keeping this idiom, or are we replacing it with something else, something better?
I love it because I think it's quite a visceral one. You know what it means. Like you can feel it, you know.
Yeah.
It directly relates. So like the early bird catches the worm, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what that feels like. Whereas the act of chewing and biting off more than you can chew is a physical thing. Yes, it's a tactile experience that you can go, okay, I understand how this translates. So I'm going to give it a big tick. Love it, keep it, do it.
No, don't do it. That's the point. Like, avoid it as much as you can, right?
Well,
unless it comes to you, and then you have to learn how to deal with it, I suppose.
Okay, avoid it as much as you can, but don't let the fear of it stop you from doing anything.
Oh, okay. Episode ended right there.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Do we really want to end it there? I was just going to stop recording. That's what we did last time.
Well, no, you could say it again for effect if you remember what you said.
I do not.
Okay.
I will if I backtrack, but it'll lose its magic. So you just, if anyone wants to rehear that, just rewind and replay.
It's been lovely to see you.
Lovely. See you next week.
See you next week.
Episode's over, but you don't want to miss the outro. Thanks for spiraling through another metaphor with us.
If you like this episode, tell your mates, leave us a review, or shout a saying at us online.
You can find me, Rach, over on YouTube at Rach Does YouTube.
And you can find me, George, watching Rach's videos over on YouTube, but also on Instagram at makinga.fuss.